Are you selling to the wrong people? Hello, it's John, it's the Marketing for Owners podcast. My job is to help you realize that there is an easier way. You can create a business that does its own marketing, that sets up little marketing processes and systems that are dead easy to set up. And once they are in motion, they just create a constant lead of customers and a constant stream of customers and leads. And you don't have to worry about a thing. You don't really need salespeople. I've proven that you can build an entire business with over 100,000 customers without a single salesperson. So if you can't afford them, don't worry. This is the low-cost way to do it yourself without an agency. But there are a few fundamentals underneath all of this. So no matter what marketing, no matter what selling you do, there is the wrong person. Now I'm going to read something because this I'd never remember this off the top of my head. But quite simply, selling to the right person is more important than all the sales methods, all the copywriting techniques, and all the negotiation tactics in the world. Simple as that. It's simple as this. The wrong person doesn't have the money. The wrong person doesn't care about you and the problems you solve. The wrong person cannot be persuaded by anything. Now, somebody clever wrote that, and I have forgotten who it is. But it's exactly correct. Your marketing and your sales should be only targeted at the right person. Now remember, you might be thinking of companies and businesses, but when you sell something, no matter what it is to an individual. So if you write a blog post or a tweet, it's not a company that reads it, it's an individual. So if you need to be thinking of contacting the right individual, if you are approaching a large company, say you have a big ticket item or some major software, you need to contact the correct people in that company. So if they've got 1,000 staff and multiple offices, you don't want to be speaking to the receptionist or possibly the operations guy if it's a sales software like a CRM product or something like that. You need to get the right department. Then you need to get the right people in the department. It's not necessarily the top person in that department, especially if it's larger. You need to be contacting the people who may use it, who can then influence. But no matter what it is, if they're not in your target market, so if you have an expensive CRM product or some sales software product that costs, if you want multiple people to use it and it costs a few thousand a month, if that company is not of that size or doesn't have a large sales force, they're never going to be interested. They are not going to buy your software and then go and build a sales team around it. They're not going to commit to your product. They're going to do what they do. So if they don't have it, they're the wrong people. They are not your target market. That means you need to know who is. Now we quite often refer to this as an avatar or a customer persona, but very simply, you need to know who it is. Now it's very likely that you have some different types of customer persona. So take that software product. You may have that large company who may have some different way of buying at a certain size. They may have certain people you need to influence, whereas in a smaller company it may actually be the boss or the head of department. In a large company there may be a VP of department, but there's other people under whose job that is. So you need to know those two types of customer will have a slightly different approach. Remember, the one where it's the boss buying, she's probably in charge of the budget, has a bit more sway. Whereas if it's in a department, there are possibly other people to be convinced, other considerations, budgetary considerations, and things like that to consider. But no matter what, if they're wrong, so remember, this is not so much about the job or anything like that. If they are not ever going to be your type of customer, you are wasting your time aiming for the wrong customer. It's just a waste of money, a waste of effort. This is the beauty with an automated sales and lead generation system. Like I can show you how to make, it's quite easy, a perpetual sales cycle, I call it. But it depends on you speaking to someone who could possibly be interested. Now, in that example we mentioned about they don't have the money, they're not interested. There are people who are in your target market who don't have the money yet. They may not be interested yet, but there's always a possibility they will be. You just have to educate them or be there when they do need it. Be there when they do have the money. There could be a business that's growing and they may be thinking, when we grow, when we're much bigger, I'll be wanting that. For example, for instance, Marketing for Owners is built with Rainmaker. Rainmaker, I think, costs $1,500 a year or something like that. If you take something like HubSpot, HubSpot is more like $15,000 or $20,000 a year. Now, you may be in a business that you don't want HubSpot now, but you still may be interested in finding out about HubSpot because you may be aiming to have it in the future, maybe a couple of years down the line, but you're still interested. You are still a target customer. I hope this makes sense. Makes sense to me. But it's really important because if you're just spray and pray, you just put an ad in a paper, an ad in a trade press, and it just says, we have the best, we have this special offer. Nah, it's not going to work. You want to know how to speak to them, how they will use it. If you know how to use it, you can speak in their language. If you know their words, the kind of terms they use, you can speak in their language. You can get inside their head. You can understand their problem. You can actually survey people. You can buy lists, you can survey people and find out what their problems are and then point out that your solution can solve their problem and perhaps they'd like to talk to you a bit more, etc. But no, if they're not going to be the right customer, they're never, ever going to be interested, and that is just a waste of time, and time is money. Simple as that. So this is a core message, okay? A core message. Only ever try to sell something or market something to a person that is a potential customer. Simple. It is Tuesday. It is time for a toolbox tip, and this one is going back. It's a golden oldie. It's funny. I say it's an oldie because I've used it forever. It seems like it's been around for a long time, but all this stuff is still very new. And these things have never been around more than a couple of years. But today's tip is for Trello. Trello is a project management software. It is very, very simple to use once you get started. It's one of those intuitive ones. It is used by so many people. You can actually Google or go on YouTube and search for examples of Trello boards. They call them a board, where you put up and you work through a project. And you can see the ways in other people use it. Now, the beauty of Trello is free. And they do have paid versions and so on, but Trello is widely used. There are a lot of things that will integrate with Trello. Trello will integrate, so if you have a team where people are in other parts of the world, you have outsourced or use Gmail, it will integrate with those tools. Now, we use Trello, and in the old days, people use things like Basecamp and so on, and you pay monthly fees. There are other ones, of course, there are plenty that you can pay monthly fees for, but why would you when so many people use Trello? Just try it. It is genius. You can use it for absolutely anything. Simple as that. Also, just want to remind you, tomorrow is our expert interview series, and I finally tracked down and managed to get hold of one of my all-time favourites. The guy's name is Andre Chaperon. He's kind of British. He claims to be British. He lives in Gibraltar nowadays. But the guy is a genius. Email marketing, all of the top experts will tell you that Andre Chaperon is fantastic. One of the absolute best. Get on that interview. Do not miss it. I guarantee you will love it. See you soon.